welcome to another episode of Track by Track. We are here with Lewis Brice, and we are talking about his brand new self-titled EP, Lewis Brice.
Yeah.
So first, let's talk about your album. What went into making this? What went into creating it? And how long did it take?
A long time. We first started working. I've had the songs around for a while, and I've been playing live for a while, and so finally got to a point of where I was like, playing enough shows, and I don't have anything to give back to the listeners. And so finally got to a place, man, I went with my brother and stuff, and went through a few different producers, but then we finally got it done. So we got to get this done. So the process of actually making that, going into the studio, probably took about 2 years.
Oh wow.
And it's just the main reason why it's just everybody's so busy. And like the producers, I started out with a guy named Ben Simonetti. He does work with Zach Brown and stuff like that. There's a band called Sir Roosevelt that Zach started on the side, and actually he's in that band. And so it's pretty cool. But we started working on it, really dug in. They went to the rooms. We recorded the first band tracks in the Southern Ground Studios. And so that came out. We had like a 3-piece come in there, just rock and roll style, bang it out. And then when we were there, we went in and started messing with the tracks more, like putting some more just kind of influences if we want another guitar player on it to make the spots. We did that. So over the time we did that. And then Ben, he started getting more busy working with my brother as well. And so we were missing time getting the record done. And I finally got to a kind of a stale point because we had the songs recorded, just not really finished where they were mixed correctly and all that stuff. So it was still more work. It wasn't ready yet, so we tried to work with another guy, Dan Frizzell, a little bit, and he was busy as well. But like I said, everybody has influences on this spot right here. But then finally got to a point with my buddy Brian Bunn. He was a guitar player at the time for Thomas Rhett, and he's just got a really really cool ear, man. Like he writes as well. But we knew I was gonna be able to sit down with him and have time, and just me and him got there and just really banged it out, and I finished it, and it feels really good. And my brother, he's an old executive producer over it, so Lee couldn't be there just as much as he wanted to be there, just because he has his own records, his own stuff as well. But so we finally finished it out, and he would give us the final okay. And we finally got it done years later, and then it actually worked out good because the process of getting this done, I was still in the process of getting my team together with management, publicists. It's all the whole team order part, which I'm a big fan of my team. They all work well. So
that's great.
And this came out in July, and ever since then it's been rolling. I think the music itself is speaking for itself. I've had a lot of great reactions, and it's really. I know when I listen to it, there's no regrets left on there. So when I hear it, I'm like, that's done the correct way, and that's ready to move on to the second half.
And there's no doubt that this was a labor of love. I mean, 2 years creating it and working with so many people, so many talented people is incredible. And you're right, your brother has a crazy busy schedule. And so, and the fact that you actually got to work with him and lean on him in certain ways with his ear and his ideas and visions, was that something that you were really looking forward to in making this album, was working with him and kind of getting, his opinion on things?
Yeah, I really was. I was really looking forward to working with my brother, just because, for one, he's been in the business and he's seen a side of it that I haven't seen yet, and he's heard so much of it, which I listen to music constantly, but he's helped produce other acts as well, so he's in that studio, so he really knows the studio very well, and he actually learned a lot from Doug Johnson, his first producer. So when I'm getting real with Lee, I know I'm getting in there with experience and a good ear, like a confident ear as well. Like when he listens to music, and he doesn't just function on one spot. He looks at all the different spots of music, and his brain thinks a lot like mine, like to keep the music relative, but still keep it your own.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's talk track by track.
All right.
Let's go. And we're not going to do this in any particular order, you guys. I just want to speak, as they come out, as they come to me. So, vocals, by the way, you have incredible vocals, and this album overall captures your overall talent, and it's really amazing. I've listened to this EP several times now, and I love that you have so many different sides, and this album really captures everything you're good at, everything that you can do, and I'm so happy with it. So thank you for putting out a great album for everybody.
My pleasure.
The first one I want to start with is Still With You.
Okay, Still With You. I wrote that song with my good buddy, Mr. Aaron Parker. And to me, when we first wrote it, it was actually kind of geared towards him, because he was he's a younger artist, but he was just newly into I think he was just getting engaged. I think he had a little baby on the way, and but they had been together for a long time, and so that kind of we kind of wrote about their situation, and Aaron's a great guy, great songwriter, and so this song came out when this was kind of one of the songs that kind of helped get the ball rolling, because I got in the process about, like I said, 2 or 3 years ago when I was writing a lot of time. I was getting into the room with a lot really good creative writers, so the songs were coming out really well. And now when I like it, the reason why I wanted to cut it, because it takes me back. I'm from a small town, Sumter, and my folks, my mom and dad, they're still married and still together. So that's a kind of a rare thing these days, over 60 years. And so coming to this Still With You and they got married young. So to me, I kind of relate this back to my parents, like getting together at a young age. They were high school sweethearts, and go from there. And and they're still together. They're still strong, kind of running through there. And I think this song kind of shows a more like a country kind of pop side of me. To me is where and I got a couple different ranges, but this is the country popish sound of the record.
So the next track, Out of My Head.
Out of My Head.
I love the title.
Out of My Head, I was a lot of my stories go back to exes and stuff. I have a little history of those, but even though I didn't have that many girlfriends, but it works out. I got stories about them, and they work out.
Right.
This song is called Out of My Head. At this point, this young lady, just one of those girls, when you walk in, like a mind-blowing person, whether it be a girl or a guy, but okay, it's when you walk in, every time I'd see her, it's like, wow, I had to have her, so maybe go crazy, do stuff to keep her around. I was able to write that song. I got in a room with Randy Montana, great writer, artist as well. Went there and I wrote a couple songs with him. This one just stuck out, and once we got going, like the way we first recorded it in the studio, it was straight up 90s, like rock, like 3-piece, going straight at it. So, and it sounded awesome. That's actually how my band learned it. Then to come back when I started working with Brian Bunn, we kind of switched around a little bit. It still kept the same tempo, same music, but we just took some stuff out and we added a few more little magic things. And I think it kind of brings a little bit more of a relevant vibe rather than just straightforward, 90s rock. We put a little bit of slide into it and just a couple more ear candy pieces.
Yeah.
And it picks out. And actually, once we did all that, I was like, man, this took it to a whole nother level. Like from 90s rock to like, there's almost sounds like a club beat in it. Da, 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 da.
Yes.
But it's really just some keys right there. So, but it comes out good. It's the melody of it. I think it's pretty big. It's been fun here recently. People have been playing shows. People catch on that one really well because it's a long out of my head. So it's pretty cool. It's a really good song.
It is. It's really well written. I loved the lyrics when I was
you.
listening to it. I thought, wow, this is so incredible, and it is relatable. I mean, I think we've all been there. So good job. I love that. I love that you get to draw on your personal experiences and that you're not afraid to.
Yeah, and I think that comes across in my music, and I think as an artist, to put yourself out there, if you want people to see your art, it has to be a part of you, I think. And so, and all these songs are little pieces of me, my little life coming up, what I've been through to where I am now. And to me, I think if you listen to this, you get a little better picture of me.
Let's talk about Rob You Blind.
Oh, Rob You Blind. That I like to call it that's my Bonnie and Clyde story song. It's your adventure kind of. This girl's mysterious, but she kind of comes in, and she, before you know it, she in a blink of an eye, she's like taking all the things that you love and have in your life, and all of a sudden she's gone, and they're just like, and you never saw it coming because you were totally bafflingly blind by just her presence and her beauty and this, that, and the other. I wrote that song with Aaron Parker as well, and one of my friends, she's a bartender, and she always thinks of that. Like most of my friends that are bartenders, they're like, "This is our song." They're bartenders, so they come right there. They're talking to you. That's the next thing you know, you're $150 deep in shots. So.
That's a great way to look at that song. I love it. Good job, guys. Good job. No, definitely. Next track, Alabama.
Alabama. Well, that's a fun one. That's one of the songs I was able to write with my brother, Mr. Lewis Brice. And one night we were hanging out and sitting in his garage, and he had just gotten the house, and so he was kind of doing there. We were just kind of pedaling around. And when I say his house, like his whole house, his wife pretty much has the house, and then he's got his garage as a little man space. So that's where we were hanging out that evening. And so he was like, man, I've been wanting to write a song. I know it's a really simple title, and let's just kind of see where it goes. It's just Alabama. And I was like, well, sure, I'll write it with you. I mean, you've written a couple good songs. Might as well jump in there with you. And so we started it in his garage, and real swampy. And I think this song kind of brings out the Carolina, the swamp sound, like the dirty kind of party, house part, like the field party kind of side that we grew up with. So I grew up doing field parties my whole life. And because out in the country, that's all you had. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Big trucks, 4 drives, big bonfires. One time I was at this one bonfire, we were hanging out, and all of a sudden this group of girls are coming up in this white Ford Explorer. I remember like it was yesterday. And when I say a big bonfire, I mean like there was a tree in the middle of it. Oh. It was huge. It was like 10 feet across. And all of a sudden and all of a sudden, wide open, the car comes, hits the log, drove over the fire. This is what happened. It hits the log, pops up. They were going so fast, went forward and popped it back over. They drove over the fire in the middle of the tree. So this crazy bonfire stuff was happening. So this is what this song kind of brings me back to. Say if one of those girls were cool and they like taking over the party, you never called her name, but you knew where she was from, Alabama. So this is what the song is about. It's about a girl from Alabama that nobody ever called her name, but she was in and out like the wind.
Wow.
Yeah.
But see, this is why we love our track by track. We get a really good inside scoop on what was going on in your mind when you wrote that song. Okay, so the next track, the title is pretty crazy. Messing with My Mind. I love it. I got to know what was going on in your mind with that one.
Oh, that's a good one. That's one of my favorite stories to tell about this song. This song takes you back to South Carolina. When I was in transition between Nashville to or South Carolina to here, my dad had his own electrical business back home, and I was doing in between work there and work here, and really trying to find my decision whether I wanted to play music or not. I was still finding myself, and so one day this song, I'd been seeing this young lady. We'd been hanging out. We never made it official, and it'd been a couple months, and I kind of got the inkling at some point that she was wanting a little more than just hanging out. And so I came back to town one day. I took her out to a real nice dinner. Took her to the Outback Steakhouse because in Sumter that was the big steakhouse, with the blooming onion. Yes. But do that, and so having a great dinner, a couple drinks, talking good, everybody's laughing, and then it got to the point I was like, hey, so let's make this a little more involved. Let's make this official. Let's be, boyfriend, girlfriend, Facebook official. And so she was like, when I'm thinking she's going to say, yeah, she's like, well, I kind of want to keep my freedom still. I'm not ready to settle down, da-da-da-da. I was like, okay, I'm completely fine with that. We'll keep doing what we do. I'm totally down with that. 2 days later, I'm in Dewey Beach, Delaware, playing a show. And it was just during the daytime. I was getting ready for the show, changing some string stuff. My buddy calls me. He's like, hey, buddy. He said, what'd you do with that girl, man? What do you mean? What girl? He said, that girl you were seeing back home. I said, well, I don't know. We're friends, just hanging out. He said, well, she just got engaged. And I was like, what? You get engaged, huh?
Wow.
He said, yeah, man, go check it out. It's Facebook official. So I went to her Facebook, sure enough, relationship status, engaged. A couple minutes later, I get a phone call from a voice, and she was like, hey. And I was like, hey, congratulations on your commitment issues. Glad you're engaged right now. So that, kind of threw me for a loop, and I went downstairs, I started writing this song. It didn't take long to belt out the song. It came out really quick, but the original lyric wasn't messing with my mind. I'll leave that to wonder what you think the lyric was.
That's going to remain forever a mystery.
Yeah. But that's how that happened. And that song is one of my favorite songs to sing. I can really, dig into that song. And I like singing. I like doing the big notes, and it just feels good for me. It's a good release for me. I guess that's what they call it. And when I'm able to hit that big note, I really try and put what I got into it. I think people feel the passion coming from it.
Oh, definitely. That's the one song that stands out to me the most on this album. And
thank you.
Your vocal abilities are captured really, really well in that particular song. And man, it's strong. You're so strong on that song.
You.
I mean, on all of them, but on that one specifically, it really showcases who you are. And I love that. And I look for that in artists, and I think a lot of fans look for that. They look, even on the shows, right? The Voice, American Idol, all of those, they're always looking for, what are they going to do with that note? Are they going to hit it? Are they going to go above? Or are they just going to kind of take the easy road? And man, that one was a really, really good choice for you, and I'm glad you hit it.
Well, thank you. And that's even when I'm out the show, I don't really know how to sing halfway. It's either all or nothing. If I miss a note, I'm gonna miss it big. And that's what I tell my band. We're playing. Hey guys, we're gonna have some fun. Let's make people. They want to see a show. They want to see us having fun. So let's have fun. If you don't know the music that well and you hit a bad note, hit it big. But don't lackluster. Don't slide into it. Hit it. I mean, you'll get. There's always another note right behind it.
There you go.
So, funny fact with all these songs, when I did all the vocal parts of them. I pretty much had strep throat at the time when I sang all this stuff. There's just a funny fact.
Wow.
Yeah. So now when I get to sing them now live, it's like way easier. But when I was in the studio, I was like really stretching it for it because I was pretty much had strep throat to sing the record. So.
You had already waited 2 years to make the album. And was that the only time the schedules would line up that you had to do it while you had strep throat?
Mm-hmm. Because I had to get it done, and I was like, I wasn't gonna say no because I just had to get it done. But the tone of the voice actually came out really good with strep. So I mean, I guess I just wait to that time of the year, which is springtime, which I always catch some kind of something. So this past year was better. I took allergy medicine before the allergies came.
Okay, so. Well, good job. Hopefully you don't encounter that again. But I mean, it did serve you well on this EP though. So that's pretty great.
I think that might have where the even more passion came from because I really had to sing hard to get it out.
Guys, this is the last song on the EP.
There it is.
Well, the last song that I'm talking about on the EP.
Right.
Best Ex Ever. Now, I know that a lot of us wish we had a good ex, and most of us don't have those good exes. So talk to me about this song. What Best Ex Ever? What is that to you?
So this does go back to another ex. It's a kind of a half-true story. I can't tell the whole story because it might incriminate me a little bit, but I can drop little hints.
Okay.
And so it started out, my good buddy Mr. Benji Davis and Mike Walker. I had one of my first writes with him and walked to the room. We were just piddling around, found a cool little lick, and then we started talking about the subject matter. And we were just talking about some random stuff. And I started talking about a couple of my exes and this, that, and the other. And then I told one story where there was an instance where I'd gotten into a little trouble. I'd been out that night, got into a little trouble, and then got to a situation where I only had one phone call to make. And at that time, I didn't have my cell phone with me. And nobody really remembers numbers these days.
Right.
I didn't either, but I remembered one number, and it was from the previous ex-girlfriend from 2 years previous. I hadn't really talked to her much, but all of a sudden she got a payphone call from saying Lewis Brice. And she picked up, and lo and behold, that got me out of... Well, at least it started helping the process of getting me out of the situation I was in. And so that's kind of where that story came out. And like when we were writing it, my buddy Mike, I remember like Benji was right here across from me, and Mike was in the kitchen fixing a cup of coffee, and we were just saying, hey, best ex ever. What's the best, like about exes? And somebody was like, best, and he said off camera, like, best sex ever. And I was like, no, we can't say that, but we can say best ex ever. And so we all just, and then that really got it going. And actually that song was the one to really get the ball rolling to start this whole record. Because I wrote it that day, we tracked it, and I actually sent it to my brother. Hey man, what do you think about this one? And he just came back. He's like, that's it. So you got songs, and this is the one to get the ball rolling. So and that was a game changer that day, writing that song.
Absolutely, and good call. That's the one to get the ball rolling, because that song is so much fun, and the music video is equally as fun. And so, guys, we don't want to keep you waiting anymore. Stay tuned. We're going to come back, and Lewis is going to sing that song for you. All right? See you soon.
Here is the best ex ever. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
I got kicked out the bar, can't find my car now. At the gas station, phone in a puddle, covered in mud, oh no. It's one of those days, yeah, quarters in the payphone, racking my brain, but the only number I can't remember is yours. You are a lifesaver, picking me up in the middle of the night. You ever need a favor? I got you, girl, you got that right. I know we'll never get back together, but I gotta tell you right now that you, hands down, are the best ex ever. Yeah. Well, you know what I think? Well, when I shoot you up, make you smile. Like I should probably stop talking, just so you know, even if we don't, it's your beast. Hell, I don't walk in, girl, you can't blame me. You look amazing, you were so dang sweet. Why'd I ever let you go? Cause you are a lifesaver, picking me up in the middle of the night. If you ever need a favor, I got you, girl, you got that right. I know we'll never get back together, but I gotta tell you right now that you, hands down, are the best ex ever. You're the best ex ever. Cause you are a lifesaver, picking me up in the middle of the night. If you ever need a favor, I got you, girl, you got that right. I know we'll never get back together, and I gotta tell you right now that you, hands down, are the best ex ever. Yeah, you were the best ex ever. Yeah, why'd I ever let you go?
Thank you so much for tuning in to Track by Track with Lewis Brice. Don't forget to pick up his new self-titled EP, and special thanks to WME Entertainment for letting us use the Gibson listening room. Until next time, everybody, stay tuned.